Why do you find yourself less interested in being around others than you once were? If this question resonates with you, know that you're not alone. Many people in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s start to withdraw from social circles they once cherished deeply. It's not because they have stopped caring or become bitter or indifferent. Rather, something inside them has changed, often a change born from wisdom, not weakness. In this piece, we will explore 6 profound reasons why you might be avoiding others even though you once loved being social. These reasons are not mere guesses, but touch on real experiences many older adults go through, even if they rarely share them openly. Some reasons may surprise you, while others may strike a chord deep within you. But by the end, you will better understand yourself and perhaps gain more compassion for the space you have chosen. You will see that stepping back from some people is not something to regret. In fact, it may be one of the most healing and insightful decisions you have ever made. The first reason is the burden of past wounds. Over time, we accumulate not just memories, but scars, some small and fleeting, others deep and lasting. There are minor disagreements, misunderstandings, and moments of hurt that quietly build up. Then there are deeper wounds, betrayals, neglect, and the pain of opening your heart only to be hurt again. As we age, these echoes grow louder. We no longer open ourselves easily, not out of anger, but because we realize not everyone deserves closeness. Take the example of Chloe Hour, an 81-year-old woman who used to host weekly dinners filled with music, laughter, and lively conversation. Over time, friends disappeared, trust was broken, and the gatherings became strained. Now she prefers quiet over forced socializing. It's not that she dislikes people, but she values peace more than appearances. A silent armor forms with age, a shield forged by experience. It's not always pleasant, but often necessary. Having lived long enough to see people change and drift away, you begin to protect your time, heart, and energy, not out of coldness, but out of selectivity. Older adults have given love and helped many times and been hurt without warning just as often. This cycle teaches you to slow down, reflect, and withdraw when things feel off. You begin to notice not only what others say, but how you feel when they leave. Psychologists call this relationship fatigue, when maintaining connections feels more draining than rewarding. This is often seen in those who have suffered emotional wounds, and there is no shame in it. It simply means you have lived deeply and learned that the heart is precious and not everyone deserves access. The second reason is the yearning for peace over meaningless chatter. When younger, you might have enjoyed filling the silence with trivial talk, gossip, or small talk just to avoid emptiness. But as time goes on, patience for such things wears thin. It's not that you hate others, but you treasure the quiet that brings peace. Silence becomes restorative rather than uncomfortable. Once you find this calm, you resist trading it for shallow conversations. Consider Henry, a 76-year-old former salesman who once loved socializing but now avoids events that require constant talk. When asked, he simply says, "I no longer want to talk just to fill space." He doesn't seek isolation, but meaning, authenticity, and quiet without performance. As we age, emotional energy is guarded, and the pressure to impress fades. What remains is a craving for genuine connection. We seek conversations with depth rather than superficiality. When those are absent, many choose the solace of a good book and a warm cup of tea over hours of forced interaction. This is not withdrawal, but conscious choice. You have the right to protect your peace, preserve your strength, and say no without apology. It is not retreat, but growth. You understand richness in life doesn't come from the number of people around you. Sometimes one meaningful conversation or a quiet evening alone is more valuable than hours of empty chatter. If you find yourself pulling away from trivial stories and crowded events, remember you are not shutting the world out. You are awakening. You are clear about what nourishes you and what drains you. And clarity is one of the greatest blessings of aging. The third reason is the feeling that people no longer understand you. There comes a moment when you realize the world around you has changed, and so have you. Language feels unfamiliar, beliefs differ, and the pace of life shifts, making conversations, expectations, and friendships harder to bear. Amid these changes, you feel invisible, unheard, or simply disconnected. It's not because you did anything wrong, but because others no longer take the time to understand you. Take Ella, a 79-year-old former teacher who once loved spending time with younger family members, sharing stories of raising 5 children, managing a household, working full-time, and volunteering. Now, she says they seldom ask how she is. When she speaks, they smile politely and look at their phones. This is not accidental, but a quiet disconnect that feels like an abyss over time. This is a silent cause for withdrawal, not from lack of care, but because feeling unheard is exhausting. Gradually, you choose solitude, not because it's better, but because it's safer. You know your depth, your experiences, your wisdom. But when others fail to see it, you stop expressing yourself. This loneliness is not being physically alone, but feeling misunderstood. You could be in a crowd and still feel invisible. You share a thought, and they change the subject. You express concern, and it's dismissed as overreacting. After enough experiences like this, silence seems simpler. Psychologists call this emotional invalidation, when your feelings are quietly rejected or minimized. This affects many older adults, but is rarely discussed because it doesn't happen through outright rejection, but through accumulated small moments. Yet the truth remains: your thoughts matter, your voice is valuable. Just because others don't hear you doesn't mean you lose worth. Sometimes the answer is not to force yourself into their world, but to find people or places where you don't have to explain yourself, where your presence alone is enough, where someone truly listens rather than waits to speak. And when those people are rare, withdrawing and conserving energy while finding peace within yourself is natural. In that space, you are fully known as you are, and that is never something to feel guilty about. The fourth reason is the fear of becoming a burden. With advancing age comes a quiet worry, not just about illness or death, but about being a burden to loved ones. It's a difficult fear to express, but impossible to ignore. You don't want to inconvenience others or disrupt their lives. So you stay silent, keep to yourself, maintain distance, not out of stubbornness, but respect. You don't want your presence to feel like a responsibility. You decline invitations, not because you don't want to go, but because you don't want others to have to rearrange their lives for you. You suppress worries, not because you don't trust others, but to avoid adding pressure. Gradually, your world shrinks. Consider Herbert, an 84-year-old widower who used to spend every weekend with his daughter's family. As his health declined, he increasingly refused invitations. When asked why, he said, "I don't want them to have to change their lives for me. They have work and kids. I am just a burden." Even though his family never saw him as a nuisance, the fear of being a burden outweighed his desire for closeness. This strange tension affects many older adults. The more dependent you become, the less you want to be. The more you crave connection, the more you hesitate to ask for help because you have spent a lifetime being a pillar for others. Now, needing help feels strange and uncomfortable. This fear comes from wanting unconditional love, not obligation. When you feel your presence is a burden, you withdraw. You'd rather be alone than feel responsible. But the truth is, those who love you want to help. They may not always express it perfectly, but your value is not based on independence, but on who you are. If people around you truly care, your needs will be honored and treasured as a privilege. Fear still influences your actions. You hold back when you want to speak, stay home when you want to go out, skip events when you want to participate. Gradually, keeping distance becomes easier than facing dependence. The fifth reason is the quiet fading of shared interests. Time changes many things, including the hobbies and joys that once connected you to others. What once excited you may no longer hold appeal. Conversations about once familiar topics become dull or alienating. You try joining activities and groups, but realize that either your interests or the people have changed. There is no longer a shared passion. This makes socializing harder. You lose not only enthusiasm, but direction, unsure what to hold on to. You begin avoiding places that make you feel out of place. Withdrawal is not from lack of energy, but from lack of connection. Feeling disconnected makes maintaining contact difficult. Finally, the sixth reason is shifting priorities in life. Over many years, your focus changes. You might have once prioritized career, family, and social life. Now you prioritize health, peace, and time for yourself. You realize not every relationship needs maintaining, and investing time in self-care is essential. You become willing to say no to things that don't bring joy or align with your values. Withdrawal is part of growth, not weakness. You are choosing to live consciously, spending time on what truly matters. If you find yourself pulling away from people, know that this is a natural part of aging and wisdom. It's not about shutting the world out, but about embracing peace, protecting your energy, and focusing on what feeds your soul. It is a profound, healing journey toward living authentically and with intention, building on the understanding of why older adults often withdraw socially. It is equally important to recognize the opportunities and transformations that this stage of life offers beyond mere retreat. While distancing oneself from the bustle of social engagements can feel like loss or loneliness at times, it also opens the door to deeper self-discovery, renewed purpose, and the cultivation of meaningful connections on one's own terms. This period in life invites a reframing of social engagement, from quantity to quality, from obligation to choice, from external approval to internal fulfillment. One of the most beautiful gifts that often emerges through this process is the chance to reconnect with oneself in ways that younger years seldom allowed. Free from the constant demands of social performance, career pressures, or parenting responsibilities, older adults can begin to explore their inner worlds with more freedom and compassion. This introspection can take many forms: writing memoirs to preserve family history, pursuing artistic passions like painting or music, engaging in spiritual or mindfulness practices that foster peace, or simply embracing the quiet moments that nurture mental and emotional well-being. Many find that these quieter pursuits are not signs of retreat, but acts of growth and healing that enrich their lives and deepen their sense of identity. Moreover, withdrawing from superficial or draining social situations often leads to the blossoming of a few profoundly meaningful relationships. These may be old friendships rekindled with more honesty and depth, family bonds strengthened through patience and understanding, or even new connections found in unexpected places, such as community centers, volunteer groups, or online forums tailored to specific interests. In these intentional relationships, the focus shifts from quantity to quality. Conversations become more authentic, support becomes mutual rather than one-sided, and interactions are imbued with respect for personal boundaries and rhythms. Such relationships become a refuge from the loneliness that sometimes accompanies aging and a source of joy that validates the journey lived. At the same time, the role of technology in bridging gaps and maintaining connections should not be overlooked. While many older adults initially feel alienated by the rapid evolution of digital communication, many also discover that tools like video calls, social media groups, and messaging apps offer new ways to stay connected with loved ones and like-minded individuals without the exhausting physical demands of frequent outings. These technologies, when embraced, can supplement social needs and reduce feelings of isolation, allowing people to stay engaged on their own terms and schedules. They offer a gentle balance between solitude and community that can be tailored to individual preferences and energy levels. Another vital aspect to consider is the role of self-compassion in navigating this stage of life. As older adults face changes in health, mobility, and cognitive abilities, the temptation to judge oneself harshly or feel shame over perceived losses can be strong. Yet learning to treat oneself with kindness and patience is essential. Accepting limitations without self-criticism creates space for joy, gratitude, and acceptance of the present moment. This gentle inner dialogue can ease the pain of social withdrawal by reframing it not as failure, but as adaptation. It also encourages seeking professional help when feelings of loneliness or depression become overwhelming, reminding individuals that mental health is as important in older age as it is at any other time. Embracing therapy, support groups, or counseling services can provide tools and perspectives to manage emotions and foster resilience, enabling a more balanced social life aligned with personal well-being. Furthermore, meaningful social participation in later life often takes on new forms that differ from earlier years. Many find joy in mentoring younger generations, sharing wisdom and life lessons that only time can teach. Volunteering for causes close to their hearts not only provides a sense of purpose, but also connects them with communities that value their contributions. Participating in intergenerational activities breaks down barriers of misunderstanding and fosters empathy across age groups. These roles allow older adults to redefine their social identity not by how often they socialize, but by the impact they have and the legacy they leave behind. This shift from being recipients of care or attention to active contributors enriches self-esteem and counters feelings of invisibility or isolation. It shows that social life and aging is not about withdrawing completely, but evolving into new, more meaningful modes of connection. IT is also crucial to acknowledge the cultural and societal factors influencing social withdrawal. In many cultures, elders are revered and integrated into family and community life, which can reduce feelings of isolation. However, in more individualistic societies, the elderly may feel marginalized or overlooked, increasing the likelihood of social withdrawal. Recognizing this context helps in developing compassionate responses at both personal and community levels. Encouraging inclusive social policies, age-friendly environments, and accessible community programs can provide spaces where older adults feel welcomed and valued. These efforts help to combat ageism and build societies where people of all ages can thrive socially, emotionally, and physically. Family members and caregivers also play a critical role by maintaining regular contact, inviting participation in family events, and respecting the autonomy and preferences of older loved ones. Simple acts of listening, patience, and genuine interest go a long way toward preventing social isolation and fostering connection. In conclusion, the withdrawal from social life observed in many older adults is a complex and deeply personal experience shaped by past hurts, desire for peace, feelings of disconnection, fears of burdening others, loss of shared interests, and shifting priorities. Yet, it is also a phase rich with potential for growth, renewal, and meaningful engagement on new terms. Aging brings a chance to redefine relationships, embrace solitude as a form of self-care, and cultivate authentic connections that honor both the need for companionship and the respect for personal boundaries. Understanding this nuanced process can help society, families, and individuals respond with empathy, support, and creativity to the social needs of the elderly. Ultimately, withdrawing from the crowd is not an end, but a transformation, one that can lead to a more intentional, peaceful, and fulfilled chapter of life. As we delve deeper into the evolving social landscape of older adulthood, it becomes clear that fostering meaningful connections and combating isolation requires intentional effort, not only from the individuals themselves, but also from communities and institutions. One promising approach is the development of age-friendly communities that prioritize accessibility, inclusivity, and opportunities for engagement across all stages of life. These communities focus on designing public spaces, transportation, housing, and social programs that accommodate the physical, cognitive, and emotional needs of older adults, allowing them to participate fully in social, cultural, and civic activities. Such environments encourage active aging by removing barriers and creating safe, welcoming spaces where older people feel valued and connected. Beyond infrastructure, age-friendly initiatives often include intergenerational programs that bring together people of different ages to share experiences, skills, and support, fostering mutual respect and understanding. These programs help break down stereotypes and reduce age-related prejudice, which can contribute to social withdrawal by making elders feel invisible or undervalued. By creating opportunities for collaboration, learning, and shared enjoyment, intergenerational engagement enhances social networks and enriches the fabric of community life. At the same time, Healthcare systems are increasingly recognizing the critical role of social connections in maintaining overall health and well-being among older adults. Research has consistently shown that loneliness and social isolation can lead to negative health outcomes, including increased risk for cardiovascular disease, cognitive decline, depression, and mortality. Consequently, medical professionals are advocating for more holistic approaches that incorporate social prescriptions alongside traditional medical treatments. Social prescribing involves connecting patients with community resources, social groups, and activities that promote social interaction and reduce isolation. For example, doctors may refer patients to exercise classes, art workshops, volunteer opportunities, or peer support groups, helping them build supportive social networks while addressing physical and mental health needs. This integrative model emphasizes the interconnectedness of social and physical health and highlights the importance of social well-being as a key determinant of healthy aging. Such initiatives not only improve quality of life for older adults, but also reduce healthcare costs by preventing avoidable hospitalizations and promoting proactive care. In addition to community and healthcare efforts, technology continues to play an expanding and transformative role in shaping the social experiences of older adults. While initial barriers, such as unfamiliarity or distrust, can hinder adoption, many seniors are increasingly embracing digital tools as gateways to connection, learning, and entertainment. Online platforms enable participation in virtual clubs, interest groups, and educational courses, allowing individuals to pursue passions and friendships regardless of geographic limitations or mobility challenges. Video conferencing apps make it easier to maintain close relationships with distant family members, while social media can provide spaces for sharing life stories and receiving emotional support. Furthermore, emerging technologies such as virtual reality offer immersive experiences that can simulate travel, social gatherings, or nature exploration, helping to combat loneliness and stimulate cognitive engagement. Importantly, ongoing efforts to design technology with older users in mind, focusing on simplicity, accessibility, and clear instructions, are critical for reducing the digital divide and empowering more seniors to benefit from these tools. As digital literacy grows, technology increasingly complements rather than replaces face-to-face interactions, expanding social possibilities and enhancing autonomy. The heart of these external changes is the individual journey toward embracing new identities and finding purpose in later life. Many older adults discover that redefining their social roles beyond traditional labels of parent, worker, or caregiver can open avenues for creativity, contribution, and self-expression. Whether through pursuing new hobbies, engaging in lifelong learning, or becoming advocates for causes they care about, they carve out meaningful spaces where their voices are heard and their experiences valued. Storytelling, for instance, becomes a powerful medium for sharing wisdom, preserving cultural heritage, and fostering empathy across generations. Writing memoirs, participating in oral history projects, or creating art rooted in personal history allows older adults to connect with others on profound levels and leave enduring legacies. Similarly, activism and volunteering offer opportunities to effect positive social change, reinforce social bonds, and affirm a sense of agency. These pursuits highlight the resilience and adaptability of the human spirit, demonstrating that aging is not merely a process of decline, but one of continual growth and transformation. Simultaneously, addressing the psychological dimensions of social withdrawal involves nurturing emotional resilience and cultivating a sense of meaning and belonging. Practices such as mindfulness, gratitude journaling, and creative expression can foster emotional well-being and reduce feelings of isolation. Counseling and peer support groups provide safe spaces to explore fears, grief, and changes associated with aging, helping individuals develop coping strategies and build supportive networks. Spirituality, whether through organized religion or personal beliefs, often serves as an important source of comfort and community for many older adults, offering frameworks for understanding life transitions and reinforcing connection to something greater than oneself. Recognizing the diversity of experiences and preferences is key. There is no one-size-fits-all approach to social engagement or emotional health in later life. Empowering individuals to make choices aligned with their values and capacities enhances their autonomy and satisfaction. Ultimately, the journey through social withdrawal and re-engagement in older adulthood is a dynamic and multifaceted process influenced by personal history, societal context, health, and available resources. By fostering supportive environments, integrating social health into medical care, leveraging technology thoughtfully, and honoring the evolving identities and contributions of older adults, society can help transform the experience of aging into one marked by connection, dignity, and fulfillment. Embracing these complexities not only benefits older individuals, but enriches communities as a whole, promoting intergenerational solidarity and a culture that values the full spectrum of life stages. Building on the understanding that aging is a complex and dynamic journey, it is essential to consider how policy frameworks and societal attitudes shape the lived experiences of older adults, particularly regarding social inclusion and access to resources. Governments and organizations play a pivotal role in creating environments that support active aging by implementing policies that address income security, healthcare accessibility, affordable housing, transportation, and lifelong learning opportunities. Pension systems and social safety nets ensure financial stability, which is foundational for maintaining social participation and reducing stress associated with economic insecurity. Accessible healthcare services that integrate physical, mental, and social care promote holistic well-being, recognizing the interdependence of these factors in aging populations. Moreover, policies that prioritize affordable and adaptable housing allow older adults to remain in their communities longer, maintaining social ties and independence. Public transportation systems that accommodate mobility challenges further enhance accessibility, enabling participation in community events, social gatherings, and essential errands without reliance on others. Lifelong learning initiatives empower seniors to engage intellectually, explore new skills, and remain connected to evolving cultural and technological trends, thereby counteracting stagnation and social withdrawal. The heart of these policy measures is the necessity to shift cultural narratives around aging from deficit-based stereotypes to strengths-based perspectives that celebrate the contributions and potential of older adults. Ageism remains a significant barrier to social inclusion, perpetuating misconceptions that older individuals are frail, dependent, or irrelevant to contemporary society. Combating ageism involves raising awareness, promoting positive representations in media, and encouraging intergenerational dialogue that highlights shared humanity and diverse experiences. Educational programs that challenge prejudices and promote empathy across age groups foster respect and understanding, which in turn create more inclusive social environments. When societies value aging as a natural and enriching phase of life, older adults are more likely to experience dignity, purpose, and connection, which are critical for mental and emotional health. The role of family and informal caregiving networks also deserves attention, as they are often the primary source of social support for many older adults. Changing family structures, geographic mobility, and economic pressures can complicate caregiving dynamics, sometimes leading to gaps in support and increased isolation. Supporting caregivers through respite services, training, financial assistance, and community resources is vital for sustaining these relationships and preventing burnout. Encouraging open communication within families about aging-related needs and expectations can help manage transitions and foster mutual understanding. Furthermore, recognizing the diversity of family forms and caregiving arrangements, including friendships and community networks, broadens the concept of social support beyond traditional boundaries. In addition, the intersectionality of aging with factors such as race, gender, socioeconomic status, sexual orientation, and disability significantly influences social experiences and access to opportunities. Marginalized groups often face compounded barriers, including discrimination, health disparities, and limited resources, which can exacerbate social withdrawal and exclusion. Addressing these inequalities requires culturally sensitive approaches and inclusive policies that acknowledge and respond to the unique challenges faced by diverse populations of older adults. Community-based organizations and advocacy groups play a crucial role in amplifying voices and providing tailored services that respect cultural values and identities that on a global scale, demographic shifts towards aging populations present both challenges and opportunities for societies worldwide. The increasing proportion of older adults necessitates adaptations in urban planning, workforce development, healthcare infrastructure, and social services to accommodate changing needs. However, it also offers the potential to harness the knowledge, skills, and wisdom of experienced individuals in mentoring, volunteering, and leadership roles that benefit communities and economies. Encouraging lifelong participation in the workforce through flexible retirement options and continuous training can help maintain economic stability and social engagement for older adults who wish to remain active professionally. Finally, embracing a holistic view of aging that integrates physical, social, emotional, and spiritual dimensions encourages a more compassionate and effective approach to enhancing quality of life. Initiatives that promote creative expression, physical activity, nutrition, mental stimulation, and meaningful relationships collectively support vibrant aging experiences. Community gardens, art classes, dance groups, and spiritual gatherings offer diverse avenues for connection and fulfillment. By recognizing the individuality of each person's aging journey and supporting autonomy, society can foster environments where older adults thrive, enriching not only their own lives but the social fabric as a whole. This comprehensive perspective underscores that aging is not merely about managing decline, but about embracing growth, adaptation, and continued contribution. As the world continues to evolve, so too must our approaches to supporting older adults, ensuring that every stage of life is met with respect, opportunity, and the chance to flourish in connection with others. Continuing from the comprehensive understanding of aging as a multifaceted and evolving process, it is imperative to explore the transformative power of technology and innovation in enhancing the lives of older adults, fostering connectivity, independence, and access to essential services. The rapid advancement of digital tools, smart home systems, telemedicine, and assistive devices offers unprecedented opportunities to address many challenges faced by aging populations, from health monitoring and emergency response to social interaction and lifelong learning. For example, wearable health trackers can provide real-time data to both individuals and healthcare providers, enabling proactive management of chronic conditions and reducing hospitalizations. Telehealth platforms break down geographic and mobility barriers, offering remote consultations and therapy sessions that increase accessibility and convenience. Smart home technologies, such as automated lighting, voice-activated assistants, and fall detection systems, create safer living environments that promote autonomy and reduce anxiety about accidents or emergencies. Moreover, digital communication platforms help maintain social ties with family, friends, and community groups, combating loneliness and isolation that often accompany aging. Despite these advances, it is critical to acknowledge and address the digital divide that affects many older adults, particularly those from lower socioeconomic backgrounds or rural areas. Limited access to technology, lack of digital literacy, and apprehension about new devices can hinder the full benefits of innovation. Therefore, initiatives that provide affordable technology, training programs tailored to older users, and ongoing support are essential to bridge this gap and empower seniors to confidently engage with digital resources. Community centers, libraries, and nonprofit organizations often serve as valuable hubs for digital inclusion efforts, fostering intergenerational learning where younger volunteers assist older adults in navigating new technologies. This exchange not only builds skills, but also strengthens social bonds across age groups. Furthermore, ethical considerations surrounding privacy, data security, and consent become increasingly important as technology integrates more deeply into the personal lives of older individuals. Safeguarding sensitive information and ensuring transparent practices are fundamental to maintaining trust and protecting the rights of users. Policymakers, developers, and caregivers must collaborate to establish guidelines that balance innovation with respect for autonomy and dignity. Beyond technology, the concept of age-friendly communities encapsulates a holistic vision for environments that enable people of all ages to live well and participate fully. This includes designing public spaces that are accessible and welcoming, fostering social opportunities, promoting health and safety, and supporting economic participation. Urban planning that incorporates green spaces, pedestrian-friendly walkways, and inclusive recreational facilities encourages physical activity and social engagement. Community programs that celebrate cultural diversity and facilitate intergenerational activities enrich social cohesion and mutual understanding. Employment practices that accommodate flexible schedules and value the expertise of older workers contribute to sustained financial independence and societal contribution. Educational institutions offering courses and workshops tailored to seniors stimulate intellectual curiosity and personal growth. Such communities recognize that aging is a shared experience that benefits from collective effort and inclusive values. In addition, addressing mental health remains a vital component of aging well. Depression, anxiety, and cognitive decline can significantly impact quality of life, yet they often go unrecognized or untreated in older populations due to stigma or lack of resources. Expanding access to mental health services, integrating them with primary care, and promoting awareness are necessary steps to support emotional well-being. Social connections, purposeful activities, and engagement in meaningful roles serve as protective factors, emphasizing the importance of community involvement. Innovative therapies, including art, music, and nature-based interventions, provide diverse pathways to enhance mental health and resilience. As societies face the realities of global aging, there is an urgent call for collaborative action among governments, healthcare systems, communities, families, and individuals to create supportive ecosystems that honor the dignity and potential of older adults. Investing in research to understand aging processes and effective interventions continues to inform evidence-based practices. Embracing cultural shifts that value aging as a vital stage of life helps dismantle prejudices and build more inclusive, compassionate societies. Ultimately, the goal is to transform aging from a period of decline into an opportunity for continued growth, contribution, and fulfillment. By weaving together policy, innovation, social support, and cultural change, we can ensure that every individual experiences aging not as an ending, but as a meaningful chapter filled with possibility and connection, enriching not only their own lives, but the collective human story.